Hi, this is Christine. My name is Christine. And this is Ringo. He's really tired. Aren't you? Are you tired? Have you had so much fun? Oh, we've been out playing all day. He's been running around. I decided to do a read because, I don't know, I was just inspired. I've already picked the cards, and they're not necessarily tarot because I like to base it off universal law. I think it's important to know where we are and then examine where we are, where our emotions are at. Are we in alignment? Based on, well, we get what we feel. So if I'm feeling, I got my Minnesota shirt on, which is really hysterical because this reading is definitely lined up with the events happening in Minnesota. I picked, or I didn't pick, they came out of the deck. What was one of the first ones that we got, Ringy? Not this one. All the opportunities. That was the first card. All the opportunities. And then I thought, okay, well, that means open our mind because there are infinite opportunities. We're pure potential. The Prakriti and the Purusha, and how creation is constantly, we're just the open vessel, and then keeping our mind open instead of becoming the mass unconscious and taking sides. Be open to the opportunities. And then, and maybe I'll expand on that, depends, I'm tired. So then let's see, the stream. If you have a fast stream, if you are a big thinker, big dreamer, you're somebody who likes to have a big life. You take chances, you like to have adventure. Are you gonna say hi? We have to be careful because we have a stream that's moving and our higher self is already there moving downstream, and if we start paddling upstream, getting mad or fighting against this side and fighting against that side, and then we're all battling each other, then we just collide. And if you're a conscious creator, it's important to take note of when you're going upstream. If we're going downstream and we're guiding are we in a tube? What are we in? A kayak? We could be in a, we could be in a, what's the river raft, the whitewater rafting or whatnot. The faster your stream is going, when you hit something, it's gonna hurt. So we want to be careful. We want to stay focused. That was the other one, is dharana is focus. Focus helps us to stay in alignment with the stream instead of being distracted with all of the minuscule details of what this person did and that person, and was it right, was it wrong, the situation itself, and how everybody's got a different perspective. And if we lose that focus and we're going in our fast stream, I mean, like if you're a skateboarder or a snowboarder and you're just flying and you hit a tree, it's going to hurt a lot worse than if you're just walking along or just going slowly and there's a big rock or a big whatever. So it's really important when you're a conscious creator and you always like to be in alignment. You can feel when you're not in alignment, to really stay focused in that stream, because when you start feeling that pain body come up and that anger and that, ooh, I want to fight, and that tells us that we're out of alignment, we're going upstream, and that's a cough. So that tells me stay focused, because we're going to hit harder than people who don't have fast streams. When you're intentional about your life, yeah, that's a better way. That's a better way to put it. And now my nose is itching. When you're intentional about your life and you're moving fast down that stream, you have to keep up with yourself. You have to keep up with that higher self that already knows it needs to be staying in alignment for you to be happy and joyful. Because when we have that fast stream, and we're always like to be in alignment, and we're accustomed to be in alignment, and we're accustomed to having things work out well for us, and then we get distracted to a point where we are in the middle of watching the news and seeing this massive crises, which is another card I picked, was the realization of crises. And I will find that somewhere. That focus is super important, to come back to that. And to come back to that focus, and to be, here it is, realization of crises. So contrast causes us to focus. Dharana, focus. It causes us to realize what we do and what we don't want. So we have to decide what we prefer. Well, I prefer not to be unconscious and be on one side or the other. I'd rather let the universe work it out, sort it out, and I just put the intention out there that things are always working out in our favor. I feel like it was a divine assignment, obviously, because I know South Minneapolis. I lived there for 5 years, and they're no joke. They're no joke. They're no joke. They were using pronouns long before, well, nobody uses them down here, even in the suburbs, like it's unheard of. But in Powderhorn or in South Minneapolis, there were, even when you went to the cafe, you never used a gender when you spoke to somebody. So I have some funny stories about that too, when I taught yoga to little kids, but that's another time when I have some energy. And then what I thought was interesting is I picked the Darvo card, the Darvo and the Jade card, which reminds me of the big man, the guy that, the dictator, the patriarch. The Darvo is deny, attack, reverse victim, and offend. So he's classic. If you watch him, to be aware of the behavior and to observe the behavior instead of letting it consume you. So you watch him and he will do, not just him, a lot of people, it's used in all kinds of manipulation and psyops and whatnot, but the Darvo is deny, so they deny outright, no matter what it is, even if it's clear as the nose on your face. And then what's the A again? Deny, attack. And then they say, oh, well, I deny it, and now I'm making you feel bad. I'm attacking you for even saying that it was the other way, the way that I don't want it to be. And then they reverse victim. They become the victim. I become the victim. I'm like, I'm denying it. I'm attacking you for being logical. And then that's the reverse victim. So instead of you being the victim, I become the victim, and then offend you and say, how dare you be such a fuck retard. I mean, literally, he uses that word, right? And then Jade is a strategy for dealing with those people that like to use Darvo. So Jade is justify, do not. These are things that we do not do. So the realization when a crisis is happening is that we don't justify. We don't feel a need to justify because we have a map of reality. We don't argue about it because why? You know, it's silly. If we argue, we're giving up our power. Because why would we argue about something that's just so obvious, kind of thing? And then don't defend. No defending. We're not defending. We don't need to defend. It's obvious. And when you stand in that and you stay in that quiet silence, quiet power, and then E for do not explain, do not engage. Just let them do their Darvo. So the realization crises. And then going back to going down that river, if we are a peaceful type of person who likes to stay in alignment, and then suddenly we get triggered, we can go. Like, we can just go, like, way worse than a lot of other people because we're so accustomed to feeling that fairness, almost like expecting miracles, expecting that things are working out well. And so then when we see people that are acting completely awful, we just take it a lot worse, a lot harder. So then that focus, when we can bring that focus back into our lives and say, okay, I am going to center myself here. I'm going to come back. Oh, take the bounce. So take the bounce. So this is important. So what happens when something that we do not prefer happens? We take that situation and then we can create what we would like to see happen. We would like to see someone who takes accountability, that can be fair. Oh, and and this is good. I pulled the Emperor, the Authority card from the John Holland deck. I only pulled 2. So this is a good one. You know, how are we handling ourselves, and how are we displaying our alignment at that time? Are we lashing out in, from that pain body and becoming unconscious, just, and we do. And then we pull back, we get back in the stream, we allow it to flow because we already hit the rock and we probably have to rest and maybe go to the doctor and get stitches. I've done that. Anyway, and then, well, this card is, you are here to love and to be loved. So I think it's important to just always go back. To go back to the rules, to go back to the laws. These are the laws. We have laws, not the president's laws, not the world's laws. We have the laws of the universe, and they work in our favor if we allow them to work in our lives. And even though we want to scream and yell, and sometimes it feels good, we have to move, we have to get up to that place where screaming and yelling might actually feel better. If we're in a place of sadness or despair, or like where we feel like we have no power at all, getting mad as hell and letting it fly, that's an okay thing. And that from there, do we choose to beat ourselves up about it? Or do we just say, okay, this has happened. I did this. I said this. Yeah. And that's fine. And from there, I just slow my train and I get back into that alignment, and I let those people do what they need to do and stay in my peace, stay in my zone. And then the stream, this is such a good one, because I mean, if you're doing 100 miles an hour on the freeway and there's a tree in the middle of the street, you know, you got a Maserati, or you got whatever, Lamborghini, you got your Porsche, you got whatever you got, and you like to go fast. Some of us really like to go fast in life. We do. I'm one of those people. I need to have something to do. I want to have fun. I want to wake up and I want to think I'm on vacation today. And you know, if you have enough crap in your life, at a certain point you go, I'm done having crap. So I'm just going to get into my joyful place as best I can. And then I won't hit the tree. I'll be still doing 100, but there's no tree. If we're doing 5 miles an hour, like some people, they don't have awareness of their alignment, of what it feels like to be in that place of, ooh, yeah, ooh. I pulled the surrender card too. I pulled it twice. It came out once and I stuck it back in the deck because I thought, well, if it's really going to come out, I want it to come out like obvious. This is huge. Surrender. And it's such a, I want to say ostentatious. I don't know why. I'm tired. A lot of fresh air. It was so beautiful today. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Didn't we run? Did you run? Surrender is like, it's such a amazing feeling of, you just say inside, it's like, it's a feeling, it's a, oh, I don't need to worry, I can give this over. And it's just such a relief. I think of, you know, the cross is the ultimate torture device. It's like when you're so you can't cry any harder, you can't be more upset, that surrender just happens. And then once we learn that power of surrender, we can go, oh, this feels so good because I'm worthy. And I know that I can just, oh, I can let this go. And then I picked that reminds me of, well, Expect Miracles came out a couple times. You're the actor in your own play. Always expect miracles. And then I think I got the miracles are normal. Take the bounce. I already did that one. So taking the bounce. So, you know, the wave and the crest and the trough in the wave. There's always up and the down, the ebb and the flow. And if you take the bounce when you're in the trough and you say, oh, okay, now I'm going to focus on what I prefer, surrender it, and you start moving back up the scale. Attract it. We don't need to force. We can do a little, I don't know that guy's name. He always gets a bad rap for being a misogynist, and I think he probably kind of is, but he knows the laws of the universe, and the deal is, if you can truly silence your mind, you can focus on a sound and just, you can force it to the point of no thought. to where it literally forces the universe to act. And then if you do surrender and you do come into that place of no thought, forced no thought, I call it, if I get in a really negative mindset and my monkey mind and I can't meditate, I go into, like, I'll listen to a fan, or right now I have a fan in my kitchen, and you just literally force your focus into the sound of the fan. And you do it like somebody's paying you $1 million to just listen to the fan, and that's it, and don't even allow a thought. If you can force it, keep going back, and I guarantee you will come out of that negative thinking, and you will like go, oh wow, I feel a lot better, and you won't even realize that it was just because you stopped thinking. So we can force the universe to work for us. You're here to love and be loved. Be open to how things, messages and signs come. And I think, to me, that's, when we're in a monkey mind, we're not seeing the miracles. We're not seeing how little tiny signs are always there. And the more we're observing, and the more we're in that state of watching and listening and sitting back and allowing and watching the world show itself to us, it can be, it's miraculous. It's truly magical. It's that it's an awe feeling. It's when you can really just let go, surrender those worries, those thoughts, and just get in that peaceful place, and nature helps. Be open to how things come. Always watch for signs. Watch for the signs. And then, what did I miss? I feel like I missed a card. I wanted this to just be short. The Lover's card. So, divine partnership, that you have a cadre of angels and guides and friends, human, physical friends, dog friends, that will always be there, that just will come in if you ask, and that intention is set. It can also mean, to me, to stay in love, to stay in that place of love, even though we get out of it, and I can really get out of it sometimes, and I need to pull myself back, because I can be in such a good place that the opposite for me is just terror. I don't do anything. I don't get in the car. I don't go and talk to people, because it's so uncomfortable when you kind of become like a vibrational snob. You kind of like, I like peace and harmony, and when I don't have it, it feels terrible. Like, it feels way worse than it does for some other people who aren't accustomed to expecting miracles, because miracles are normal. Miracles are something that we should be experiencing a lot. So, this whole situation that's going on in Minneapolis, and the protests and all that, I felt really drawn in, and I am drawn in by it, and I get ticked about how some people can be so cruel, but I'm not a Democrat. Like, I'm not on either side. I just see the tapestry of it, and how these things kind of are working themselves out to give us clarity and to show us how there's a divine assignment. Death is not dying itself, is a wonderful thing. Dying when you're still alive is not a wonderful thing. So anyway, stay in love with yourself, You're loved. You're here to love and to be loved. And you're worthy, and you are worthy to surrender it. I say, give it to the manager. Go, I pretend, yep, angels are my manager. They're unemployed angels. Call them, call on them, ask for them, ask for their guidance. You'll get it. It's fun. You know, it becomes a fun game. So, you know, when we're in that stream going 100 miles, or we're on the road at 100 miles an hour, we don't want to hit a tree. We want to be going 5 miles an hour and hit a tree. So if you're a fast mover, a fast, you know, a very aligned person, like they say, one person tuned in, tapped in, turned on is more powerful than millions of people who are not. So the power that we have just in staying in that surrendered space and knowing that all things are working out in our favor, and to see beyond reality, to look around reality, because reality is done. Reality is already done. It's created, and it's past tense. So if we're gonna keep moving forward, we need to focus our intention forward, ponder what's coming instead of what's already happened. You know, what are the good things that can happen instead of what has already happened, because it's already done. That's done. It's old news. You know, we're always changing every second, every moment, every millisecond or whatever. But we don't know that we're changing because we're always keeping that same vibration going. So if we would stop beating the drum, do that surrender, meditate more. I mean, you don't have to go to, you know, some fancy retreat. You can just be present. Look at your hands. Say a mantra. Talk to your dog. Look your dog in the eyes. Really listen. Like if somebody's talking, just let them talk. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to personalize it. Just hold that space, and that makes a difference. So I am now I'm now Powderhorn. I'm telling you. I mean, there is actually no worse place they could have done this with ICE, because these people are truly anarchists. They really, really are. I lived there. I taught there. I taught right there in Powderhorn, and they're a bunch of rowdies. They're good people, and they're good people. They have a lot of, you know, their hearts are good. Maybe a little bit too much, you know, to the enabling. I'm on the fence with that, because I feel like, you know, we're all powerful. So if all of us are powerful, then we can't get sick enough to make sick people well, and we can't get poor enough to make poor people rich. We have to be the light. We have to show that the power of God, the power of the universe, the power of the Christ consciousness is something that we tap into. And then when we are that example, then either we really piss people off and they hate us, or they really like us and they really want to be around us. So anyway, stay in love, and love to you, and I'll try to do another reading again, hopefully, if people like it. So happy Monday, and love to you all.